Hello, everyone. This is Bruce. Well, we are here for Audit Plus workshop series. This is going to be our third session, right? And today we're going to have a look at file server monitoring. Well, kind of a deep dive. Well, we're going to get insight on file server monitoring. And needless to say, once we're done with the session, sure, please feel free to contact me for any help or any issues. You have any questions, I would be really glad to help you. All right. So I think so far, just to pile up what we have done in the Audit Plus workshop series today, this series, I think we've gone through Audit Plus and how it works and what we can actually perform using the software, right? And I just want to, catch up. So Audit Plus, well, an agentless, web-based, works based on native auditing of Windows. So besides the routine stuff, and that's how we can, we can get some benefits from Audit Plus, right, in terms of Active Directory and file server monitoring. And today, we're gonna, use the same Audit Plus. We're gonna really have a deep look and insight on file server monitoring, how Audit Plus can be used, through native auditing, of course, how Audit Plus can be used to monitor your file servers, file folder activities on file servers, not just on Windows file server. We can use Audit Plus software to monitor your shares on, multiple platforms. I say Windows failover cluster, NetApp filer, both 7 mode and CDOT mode. Clustered mode. And EMC, EMC, NetApps are nice devices, right? So that use this protocol to provide access to end users over shares. So we're going to monitor that. And we can monitor that as well. However, just the configuration part is going to be different among those multiple platforms when it comes to Audit. But today we're going to find how we can do the file server monitoring using Audit and how we can prepare the file server to be ready for the Audit Plus, because when we say the Audit depends on native auditing, we really got to do some kind of preparation with regards to auditing. Yep, of course, we're going to do the preparation. We're going to prepare the file servers by enabling the necessary auditing, necessary audit policies. Because file server auditing ensures safe and secure file server environment, right, where all the critical data stored remains safe and out of the reach of the rogue users. And of course, the native auditing through Windows file server provides basic logging of the events, but that is not going to be enough, right? That's where we need Audit Plus. So that can collaborate with the native auditing and, get you meaningful insight in easy, readable, or understandable format. All right, so let's see how we can prepare the file server and how we can go with auditing using Audit Plus. Well, these are the agenda kind of what we're going to look at today. And we're going to find out how we can efficiently configure the file server audit policies without any pitfalls, and that's what we need, right? How we can prepare the file servers. And not only enough, enabling audit policies at the server level is not going to be enough for us. We also need to do one more factor. We also need to work on audit permissions, SACLs, because when you enable audit policies, that means you're just giving the power to the server to start auditing stuff. Whereas the SACL settings, we're probably going to need to work on SACL just because we need to enable auditing at both file and folder level. Yep, system level and object level. So both going to be needed for Audit Plus. And we're going to look at a few other scenarios. And now let's see what we can do and what exactly, I was talking about the audit policies. I've got a live environment here. I've got a file server where we can go ahead and do all the catching up, on that file server, right? So let me bring that file server to your attention. All right, so this is a file server in my domain. And we're going to prepare this file server, by enabling the audit policies and audit permission for shares, because I have few shares that I intend to monitor them using AD Audit Plus for activities, right? And so I'm going to prepare this file server and also the shares, right? So now, before we go about enabling the audit policies on a file server, one thing that we need to make sure is what settings that have been already applied on that server. Yeah, we need to really have that information on hand before we go ahead and do some changes, And so what are we going to do for that? What are we going to do to get what settings have been already applied on the file server, especially the policies? All right, so I've got two utilities I can say, or I can show you right now. Those two utilities we can use, and we can get what are the policies, what are the audit policies have been applied on the file server. All right, I've got one command line utility where I can run a command, and that would give me what are the resultant policies applied on that on the server. All right, let me use that command. So it's called audit pol. Well, audit pol get category, and here, you know what? When I just type in the asterisk and I just click on enter, this is going to get me the whole list of audit policies, each audit categories, right? And because each category, we have advanced categories as well, subcategories, because Microsoft, they have introduced, in maybe in 2008, but exactly 2008 or 2, they have introduced advanced audit policies. Back in 2003, there were just the categories, audit categories. When we enable policy change, or we can enable account logon, we can enable the policy change or privilege use, object access. This object access is the main category, audit category that we need for file server monitoring. So we were just working with the object access policy, and that's how we prepped, right? We prepped the file server. It was the previous era. But right now, we can work on advanced audit policies. Microsoft has given us a weapon, to be more granular. Because when you go with the object access category, as you can see, there's a lot of subcategories like file system, registry, kernel object, SAM, for file share, filtering platform, connection, other object access events, handle manipulation. Because these are the audit subcategories. What we need exactly to turn on? We need the audit file system, audit handle manipulation. So these are the two audit subcategories we're going to need, to be enabled on the file server. Well, as I can see, those two audit subcategories have been already enabled, but I can show you how we can do that through the GPMC, Group Policy Management Console. But before that, like I said, we need to have an insight on what policies have been already applied. So this is one of the ways I can find what audit policies have been already applied. Okay, I know these are the settings that have been applied for sure, right? What if you have few other GPOs linked to the server, to the file server, and what if you have those all GPOs enabled with the audit policy settings? You would never know which GPO is linked and where the policies are coming from, right? And in that case, we can use a GP result utility where we can find which GPO from where all the settings have been applied. I mean, which GPO is winning to take over settings in the server, right? I can use a GP result command to get, I can even have it as HTML file where I can open up through the browser, and I'm going to get it viewed. All right, I think I got it. Okay, let's see. I've got quite a few GPOs applied and linked, even successfully have the settings applied, but my goal is to get to know what exactly the audit settings are applied from. So for that, I can find just right away the advanced audit configuration. I need the object access. So I have the necessary audit subcategories enabled. The winning GPO here is the default domain policy. All right, we're safe. Anyway, and if we want to make a change, so if you find any other GPO with the settings not enabled, after the information on hand about which GPO is winning over the server, we can go ahead and apply the necessary audit settings. If I just need to work on the GPMC, all I can do is I can edit the GPMC. I can edit the default domain policy. I can enable the necessary policies, required audit policies in this GPO. So those settings will get applied, well, to the server. So that's how it works. That's how we can enable, that's how we can work on the audit policy configuration without any pitfalls, really. We wouldn't have any glitches in the configuration if we do this way. All right. Okay, so I think one step is done. So the next step is we need to work on the FACL, the audit permissions on shares, object level auditing, right? Okay, let's talk about that. These are the shares that I have, and I can monitor them using AD Audit Plus, right? And if I just click on any share, go to properties, security, advanced. If you go with the auditing, okay, you need some permissions, right? Let me open up a different folder where I can show you what I'm talking about, how we can go and enable auditing for those folders, right? Okay, if I go with any folder, all right, let me assume that this is a share. I can even go with John Smith. So go to properties, security, advanced, auditing. All right, I have them enabled. I have the necessary permissions, audit permissions enabled. But let me tell you what are these settings. I have 4 entries, okay? If I just open up, say this one, you see I have the audit entry. This is the entry which defines how the server should trigger event for what kind of access, made by or accessed by who, right? In our case, we're going to need everyone to be audited, right? So I selected everyone, security principal, and what kind of access I need to audit, whether I just need to audit only the failed attempts or successful attempts. I need to audit both. So both type of access. So I selected all right? And in the settings that I apply onto this folder, well, wouldn't that get applied to all the subfolders and files? And that's right. So for that, I need to select the inheritance level, whether the setting should apply only to this folder or subfolders and files. So that's how I can do it. I need the settings to be inherited all the way around, all the way deeper to the folders and subfolders and files. So I select them. Okay, and here we go, just click on Show Advanced Permissions, what kind of access I need to monitor them when they were made to the folder, subfolders, and files by everyone. So this is how I can be more granular. All right, so I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know what I'm auditing, and I need to know what I'm monitoring. So when I have these audit permissions enabled, as per the recommendation, we have proper documentation provided in the AD Audit Plus. So that's available in the help document. I can show you the help document just right away. Now the audit policies, got here. These are the 4 entries that we need to enable at the shared level. So AD Audit Plus will take care of the rest with the help of these entries, all right? So I can share you the proper documentation about it. If you're not, please email me to bruce@manageengine.com with whatever questions, whatever requirements you may have. I'll be glad to help you with this. All right. So I think we worked on the audit permissions, right? The FACL. So after having both audit policies and audit permissions enabled on, well, the server and also for the share. So that's the preparation, right? That's the preparation I was talking about. I think we're done with the preparation. We're done with preparing the file server to collaborate with the AD Audit Plus. So whenever whenever any user is trying to do something, trying to make a change to the file and a folder, well, the server would trigger an event to the security log, right? So AD Audit Plus can fetch those events periodically. And now let's go to AD Audit and find out how we can add the file server, and how we can really get beautiful or fascinating result from the software. All right. Okay. All right. So in the presentation, I think we discussed about the system and object level auditing and what audit subcategories that we have enabled: the file system and handle manipulation, and folder level auditing through the FACLs, right? And what we did, we enabled for everyone, and we enable the settings to audit the folder access, subfolder access, and also the child objects. I mean, the files within each subfolder, right? So, and I think that's how we prepped. And we have, before we done the configuration, I think we worked on the few utilities, right? The command line utilities and the GPU results, just to get the insight on what policies have been already applied. So after having the server prepped with the audit permissions and audit policies, just one more setting I want to just make sure that that's been taken care of, right, before I go and add the server in the file audit. The security log. Very small recommendation, okay? Because the security log is the source, right? Where exactly we can find the events. ADR can find events, right? But we are going to need to prepare the security log as well, because it has to have enough room. The size of the security log does matter, so we just need to make sure that we have enough size on the file server, security log on the file server. And the recommended size is going to be 512. Well, theoretical maximum, we can set it to 4 gig. Well, I've seen environment, even Microsoft says theoretical maximum is going to be just 4 gig, but I've seen environment with security log size configured to 8 gig. I don't know how that worked for them, but I'm sure we can go with minimum 512 and 1 gig. That should be fine, right? And the retention policy should be set to overwrite events as needed. That's very important, because older events should get overwritten in order to give space to or give room to the new events, right, for new activities. And don't worry, AD has its own database to store all data. Whenever any data is collected from the software or from the server, everything going to be stored inside the database. So we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so these are the audit scenarios that we're going to find answers in AD Audit. And now let's go to AD Audit and see how we can add and how we can really monitor the server, file server. Okay, now I'm going to add a server. I'm going to add the file server that I prepped, okay? And if you ask me, do I have to do all the steps manually? You don't have to, all right? So you just select the share, and all share you can select. And when you click on next, right away it's prompting me whether AD Audit Plus can do the configuration by itself, well, automatic configuration. You don't have to do all the settings. And so on behalf of you, AD Audit Plus will do the preparation of the file server at both server level and also at the object level. Okay, so but if I have done already everything, so I don't have to let AD Audit Plus to do that. So I just need only the server to be configured. Okay, and here the AD Audit Plus have the file server configured, so it's ready for auditing stuff. And the event fetch interval will be every 12 hours by default. I can even do a run now, just like this, just to get up speed, right? But if I want to change the event fetch interval, I can change the event fetch interval to every minimum of every 30 minutes. So which means within 30 minutes, I'm sure I can get the information about the change happening if someone just got changed, right? Okay, so now let's say we have prepared the file server and we have configured the file server in AD Audit Plus. And now it's time to find answers. So the solution provided by AD Audit Plus is going to be in the form of reports and alerts. We know that, right? If we go and take a look at the reports, what are the options available? We have different pre-configured report categories. And under each category, we have few pre-configured reports available, right? And here I have file audit reports, server-based, user-based, and share-based. Okay, and here's the catch. I have 4 servers configured, right? 4 file servers configured for the file server monitoring, and well, different shares and different number of shares, and a lot of people would going to use those shares and make changes to the files and folders. And if you go to the file audit reports category, the top one, I have 3 summary reports. If I want to get a view for summary, how many changes done based on users, based on server, and based on process. And the numbers are hyperlinks. If I click on the number, that will take me to the exact report. Just say modified. Okay. And here, I have one more report, all file folder changes. And this is a cumulative report, so which is going to show you all changes happen to all the servers. I have 4 servers configured. I have few shares on each server. So all file folder changes on all servers and all shares. So it's a cumulative report. Okay. I do have an option to search. I can search by a server, search by user, or say a file folder name, even a number, even a message. It's a keyword search. If I just click on or type in a keyword and press enter, I can get the value sorted out based on the keyword I typed in. And I can even do add or remove columns. If I need to just view a field relevant to this particular event, I can do that. And so let's see what are the reports available. I have modifications, who modified a file folder, and I can find answers, which files have been modified or deleted by whom at a brief message, at what time, even deletions, I got it. Who deleted a file or folder, location of the file folder, at what time the file was deleted, and by whom it was deleted, and a brief message. Now, just for deletion, I've got rename, move, even read access. I got when a file folder has been just read, view the folder contents, I can find answers. And even failed attempt, if someone tried to do something and just got access denied. Yep, of course, you may have some critical share with restricted access to only specific people, right? If anyone else tried to do something, eventually they're going to get access denied. But we can monitor that. We can monitor the failed attempt, who tried and just got access denied. That's what I got. I can see. And permission changes. If anyone changes permissions on file folder, I can actually get the details of the permissions modified. You know what? The permissions, something added or removed. Someone's been granted permissions or denied with some permissions. But what changes were done exactly, along with the old permissions and new permissions applied. So I can compare what's been changed and what was the old value. If I wanted to revert something, I can do it just by comparing the changes and comparing the values with permissions before and after the change happened. You know what? All these report under file audit reports category, I can have the results filtered based on a server. So now I have 5 servers or 4 servers configured. If I just wanted to just go by only one server, I want to know what changes have done in that server in a given time period. The time period. By default, you can find the results for the last 24 hours. But don't worry, since the software is going to maintain the history. You can even do a reporting on for a month, for a couple of weeks, for 2 months. As long as you maintain the data in the database, as long as you maintain AD Audit Plus, I'm sure you can find the information, even for historical reporting. All right, so server-based reports. Here we can find the result filtered based on a server. Similar way I can do a user-based filtering as well. If I just go ahead and go to any report under this category where I can add a given input. So input's going to be a user or a group. Just click on maybe any group or any user you can add, any number of users, or any number of groups you can add. So this is going to get me information about all changes done just by domain admins and enterprise admins. Really, that's as simple as that. And finally, I have one more category called share-based report, where I can run a report just based on a specific share. I go to any report, a modification. All I have to do is just select the share. I go by last 7 days. I get the information for just one particular share. There's a small workaround. I'll tell you what. Instead of selecting the entire share, if I want to run a report to find out what changes done only to a specific file or a folder, all I have to do is just enter the UNC path of that file or folder, I can get the information filtered, really. That's it. So file folder based reporting is also possible in the software. All right. Okay. So far, I think we discussed about pre-configured report options. All right. All fascinating, if you feel that way. However, this software is going to be more user-friendly, more comprehensive. Okay, because it gives you the actual power to create your own report in the software, just to get the result filtered in a way that you want it. If you have some criteria, if you have some conditions to be met, I can create my own report. So let's go to reports, go to custom one. I think we talked about it before, but even through the Active Directory. Here with the file audit, we may probably have some extensive requirements. I can find answers with the help of custom report, right? For that, I can do that. I can go this way. I can create my own report. Say, for example, file folder deletions. I want to really track file folder deletion on a specific folder, right? My condition is just specific folder. I really want them to be delivered automatically from AD Audit Plus here. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. The file folder deletion, I can provide a name, description, how you want to get the result viewed. That's important, right? I have options. Should the result be delivered over to you in a tabular columns or in a graphical dashboard, just a summary and the matrix view. Let me stick to the tabular view, and here the file auditing, my goal. All right, so file deletions, I can just select the category and subcategories, modules and submodules. And columns, I can select them, what columns I need to view in our report. And every tabular view, you have a chart about in front. You can select that one. All right, access. Then filter, this is where you can apply a criteria. And different criteria can also be combined with the help of an operator. So my goal is to just get the file folder deletion, right? I have a folder name or a file name. I can just type and say yes. However, I can even add multiple criteria or different conditions, right? So this report, I can construct this report just to get when any file folder has been modified or deleted, just with the name test. Well, that's a keyword. And when they were made by a particular user, right? I can do that. I can add this way, or a server. So let me select a user. Great. And then I can go by user or our group. Let me select group. I have two conditions linked with the help of an operator. So I can just keep on constructing the report, having different conditions in that, different criteria applied, just like that. And on the fly, I can, there's a small scheduler. Okay, let me modify that again. Next, on the fly, I can even schedule this report. Now, to be delivered on a regular basis, every day, every week, every month, depends on us. And every time the scheduler runs, the report will be generated, be exported into the file format, which is of your choice. Then it will be emailed to you if you have the notification enabled. If not, they just would be stored inside this folder. You can access them anytime later. So this is how, all the way customization, all the way around. You can customize your own report in AD Audit, especially with the file auditing here. And now it's time to find another way to find information through AD Audit. And how, of course, like I said, the solution provided by AD Audit Plus is going to be in the form of report and alert, right? And now we need to find out how we can get the alert notification, how we can prep the AD Audit Plus to send you notification through email for any file audit activity. Right. I have a list of pre-configured alerts. Okay. Well, this list it actually has alert profile for a kind of audit here for both Active Directory file auditing. For file auditing, I have file for deletion alert profile and deletion on the file integrity. For the system folder audit and folder modification. And permission changes. So I have few alert profiles, right? If I want to really get notified for these pre-configured alert profiles, all you have to do, just click on configure, put a subject, that's optional, but type in your email address and save it. That's it. That's really it. You will start receiving notification when any before the permission changes happen on all servers and all shares, right? Okay, if you really would like to get an alert notification or any, say, move or modifications that happen only on a specific share, if you want to get notified only for that way, all right? I've got a way here. So I'm going to create a custom report, a report profile. I'm going to associate that into an alert. Okay, my goal is to modify alert. Then, well, I can do a description, and I need to select an action, right? What actions I need to monitor? Move, all right? I can select the move or anything else. Modification on, well, Windows servers, okay? And here I'm going to add a share. Just select the server and select the share. Let's say I go with 1 or 2. And I don't want to do that. It will prompt you. Don't worry about it. You skip the step. All you can do, just create a custom report, a report profile. So this report profile is number 1 step, right? Number 2 step, you can link this report profile into an alert. You go to email notification, go to new alert profile, provide a name to it, right? Description, you can select the severity. You can choose what severity you want it to get alerted with. And here, I'm going to select the report profile that I just saved. So you'll get notified, right? Okay, that's very good. I have one more setting to share it with you. I can just set this alert profile based on a threshold. I don't want to alert notified or get notified for each and every event that occurred. I need to really alert me if there was any abnormal modifications or abnormal activity happen. So I can set a threshold limit. So every number of events occurred. So 10 events occurred in 2 minutes or in 5 minutes. Or number of events, 100 events occurred within a matter of 1 minute or 2 minutes. You won't get 100 emails. Just one email that would say, hey, this 100 modifications, 100 deletions happen in a time span of 5 minutes or 2 minutes. And if you would like to go by another filter just by user, say I have selected some modification alert or deletion report, and I can even go or add multiple report profiles, right? If you would like to get notified only when a change is made by a particular user, you can just select or add those users or groups just by them. And okay, I can even configure alert notification by applying a condition. If I want to get notified as per the report profile that I added, but I don't want to be notified whenever, or I have one specific file or folder I just want them to be notified with for changes, right? If I have, say, okay, when file folder name equals 2, I can type in a keyword, okay? And then save it, just save it. If you save them, you would just get notified for the report for the activity that you added, included under report profile. But however, not for everyone, not for every file folder. When they've just changed, you will get notified when both conditions are met. That's how it works. So you can create, this is a way you can customize alert profile as well. So all the way around. Okay, so that thing we discussed how we can prepare the file server, how we can turn on auditing, how we can turn on audit permissions on the share, and we can configure the file server in AD audit. And we discussed what are the options, reporting options, alerting options available in the software, right? And we can really actually get benefit from the tool for the file server monitoring. This is, just a beginning. Really, I can say it's just the beginning, because if you would like to, you can play with the AD audit to your heart's content as per your requirement. These are the most wanted audit scenarios, right? There's one more feature I can talk about is the Exclude configuration. When I go with the file audit, all right, this is Exclude configuration. Okay, what we can do here? We can add certain file types or process or even user accounts from being audited. The best example scenario I can give you was you have a backup software running on a file server. that will keep on taking the backup for all files and folders, right? Well, you can, if you feel there are certain changes that are legitimate, just like backups of running each and file folder. You know, though, we don't want them to be audited. We know everything, every file folder been read by the software. I can exclude the process of the application, or even server account which is responsible for that application to run. So that's how the exclude configuration is going to help us, just to get the result for what we need exactly. All right, and now let's get back to the presentation. I think we are almost done for today's session. So I think this is a summary. I think we prepped this file server. We added the file server to AD Autoplus, and I think we even discussed about how we can create a report and configure alert notification. Well, just for the file server monitoring on different platforms. So I think, you know, next week's session is going to be the troubleshooting, the best practices recommendation, how efficient, most importantly, how you know, we can prepare our administrative AD Autoplus well, without any problems, just to get the best output from the tool, right? So please feel free to raise your questions, send me an email to bruce@manageengine.com, or you can even contact support. We've got best guys to work with you, to help you, to give you a hand anytime needed, right? Thank you so much for your time today, and let's meet on next week for our final session in this AD Autoplus workshop series. Thank you, one and all. You have a wonderful day.